In a valley veiled by early morning fog and guarded by blue-gray mountains, there stood a humble Zen monastery named Kinkuan, the Hermitage of Balance. No bells rang here, no sermons echoed through megaphones. It was quiet, so quiet that the flutter of a sparrow's wing could be heard in the meditation hall. They said that the old master who lived there, Master Ajo, had not spoken more than a dozen full sentences in the last 3 years. Yet people came from across the world to sit before him. They came not for answers, but for silence. One such seeker was Kenta, a 29-year-old man with a bright mind and a stormy heart. He had lived in the city, surrounded by books, courses, screens, and noise. His mind was like a crowded train station, thoughts rushing in and out, none staying long, all demanding attention. What is the meaning of my life? Am I doing enough? Why am I not at peace, even when everything seems fine? He asked these questions not once, but 1,000 times, to friends, to teachers, to podcasts, even to the empty sky. No answer ever satisfied him. Every answer gave birth to more questions. Until one day, he read about Master Ajo and the mountain monastery. On impulse, or perhaps something deeper, he packed a small bag and left. The journey was long and quiet. No Wi-Fi, no distractions, just his thoughts, now louder than ever. When he finally arrived, a senior monk greeted him with a nod. "You've come to see the master?" the monk asked. "Yes," Kenta replied, hopeful. The monk smiled and handed him a broom. "Then begin with the path. The master does not speak to guests whose steps disturb the dust." Kenta frowned. He wanted to speak, not sweep, but something in the monk's tone silenced his protest. As he swept the path, his mind did not grow still. In fact, it became even more restless. "Why am I sweeping? Is this symbolic? Should I be learning something here?" He judged his sweeping, compared it to what he imagined good monks would do, and evaluated himself with every stroke of the broom. After an hour, the same monk appeared and motioned toward a quiet room. "Master Ajo will see you." Kenta entered slowly. The room was simple: bamboo mats, a scroll on the wall that read "Mu," meaning nothing, and in the center, a tall, elegant mirror with a wooden frame worn by time. Master Ajo sat beside it, his legs folded, his spine upright like a pine tree. His eyes were closed, his breathing barely visible. Kenta bowed. The master opened his eyes and gestured toward the mirror. "Sit," he said softly. There was silence, the kind that felt vast like a mountain. Kenta finally spoke. "Master, my mind never stops. I overthink everything. Even now, I'm thinking about how to say this correctly. I analyze people's words, my own actions, the past, the future. Even my thoughts about thinking lead to more thinking. I'm tired." Master Ajo raised one hand and pointed to the mirror. "Look." Kenta turned to face his reflection. A young man with weary eyes stared back. "Now speak again," the master said. "I don't know how to escape my thoughts," Kenta continued. "I've tried everything: journaling, meditating, self-help books, therapy, productivity hacks. Nothing stops it." Master Ajo said nothing. He simply pointed at the mirror again. "Look deeper." Kenta leaned in. He noticed the tiny movements of his own face, the flickering of his eyes, the shifting of his lips, the tension in his jaw. "Even when you are still," the master said quietly, "your mind dances." He stood up, picked up a teacup from a wooden table, and showed it to Kenta. "When the water in a cup is still, it reflects the sky. But if I stir it," he dipped a finger in and swirled the liquid. "You see only ripples." Kenta watched the swirling water. "This," said the master, "is your mind." Then he handed the cup to Kenta. "Hold it, and keep it still." Kenta held it, trying his best not to spill, but the longer he held it, the more anxious he became. His thoughts returned. What if I drop it? What if he's testing me? Is this symbolic again? The water rippled. Master Ajo laughed, not mockingly, but gently, like a father watching a child learn to walk. "You believe thinking will save you, but your thinking is the very thing you're trying to escape. You hold on to thoughts like a sword you expect to cut the rope that binds you, not knowing the sword is the rope." Kenta looked confused. "You don't need to stop thinking," the master said. "You need to stop obeying every thought." He walked to the scroll that read "Mu" and tapped it. "This character means emptiness, but not nothingness. It means openness, like the sky. Clouds may pass, but the sky does not chase them." Kenta sat in silence, the teacup still trembling slightly in his hands. Master Ajo sat down again. He closed his eyes. This time, Kenta didn't speak. He simply sat with him. For the first time in a long while, he stopped trying to understand. He stopped trying to fix the moment. Kenta remained at the monastery for several weeks. At first, the silence was unbearable. Without phones, books, or distractions, his thoughts screamed louder. But slowly his relationship with them changed. He began to watch them, not wrestle with them. He noticed how thoughts came and went, like birds perching on a branch. He realized he was not the branch, nor the birds, but the sky. Some days his thoughts whispered, "You're wasting time here." He smiled and swept the path. Other days they said, "You're finally finding peace." He smiled and brewed tea. One morning, as he sat before the mirror again, he noticed something strange. His reflection had not changed, but his gaze had. He no longer searched his own eyes for answers. He simply saw. Departure. When it came time to leave, Master Ajo met him at the gate. He handed Kenta a piece of parchment. It was blank. "What is this?" Kenta asked. "Your thoughts," the master said. "Write only what truly matters." Kenta looked at the paper for a moment, then smiled. He didn't write anything. "Good," the master said with a nod. "Now go live. And remember," he paused, "don't believe everything you think." Kenta bowed deeply, tears in his eyes, not of sadness, but of quiet recognition. He walked down the mountain path slowly, and for once, he didn't think about where it led. Moral of the story: we do not suffer because we think. We suffer because we believe every thought is true, necessary, or urgent. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is not found in knowing more, but in quietly observing, without needing to react.